Today I'm going to try a new format. I have a bunch of articles and stories that I find are a little too small to warrant a video of their own, so I'm going to go through several of them in one video in a sort of commentary compilation. I've seen this be done by other YouTubers and I quite like the format for articles like these. So let me know if you like this kind of format in the comments and I'll think about making this a weekly or maybe monthly thing. And for those of you who are more interested in my gaming related videos, don't worry, I'll be doing plenty more of those, probably one coming up in the next few days. So getting into our first story from Mike.com. Yes, I'm in a same-sex relationship, but please don't call me a lesbian. Here we have a nice example of a bisexuality flag, because nowadays, of course, everything has a flag, except the racist things, which must be kept from having flags. Now let's see what this is about. When my partner was newly pregnant, we began interviewing midwives, and took what has become for us a normal precaution. Before meeting with the one we liked best, we sent her an email introducing ourselves and our relationship. Still, one of the first things she said when we sat down was, "Just so you know, I'm very comfortable with lesbians." So we start out with a prospective midwife virtue signaling to this lesbian couple to try and show them that she is totally a good person. Why this is necessary in modern times, I don't know, because the vast majority of people are perfectly fine with gay people and it has become basically a non-issue. Until, of course, you meet a social justice warrior lesbian. Because the thing is, these two women in a same-sex relationship are not lesbians. You see, our author is a bisexual woman and her partner is a genderqueer butch. She says, I opened my mouth to gently redirect her, something we've gotten used to, but she was already 2 stanzas into a soliloquy about how she used to go on all-women camping retreats with her lesbian friends back in the 90s. Yeah, this woman sounds like a total bigot. She says, I gritted my teeth. She was trying so hard to prove that she was cool with the gays that she spoke over us. So our same-sex loving, non-lesbian author was gritting her teeth and bottling her frustration from her horrible victimization of being spoken over. The only thing is, that isn't what happened. She wasn't being spoken over. In fact, she appears to have been trying to interrupt the person she was in conversation with. That's not how a conversation works. When someone is in the middle of speaking to you, you sit and wait your fucking turn. But hey, let's not get in the way of a good victim narrative. Our author says, in a way, I get it. I'm visibly queer. You can't miss it. I'm queer in that I went to Massachusetts to get married when it wasn't legal in Colorado kind of way. My queer relationship and my queer family and my queer haircut are front and center, all the time. The number of pairs of Doc Martens I own is only exceeded by the number of Indigo Girls concerts I've been to. I'm like so gay, dude. But that doesn't make me a lesbian. And when I'm called one, and especially when I'm called one after identifying myself as bi, I'm reminded that how other people perceive me matters more than how I identify myself. This is a problem I see over and over in the minds of these types of people. They think they can control how others perceive them, but that's not how it works. People will perceive you however they want to, and you don't have the power to forcibly change that. So you can go around confusing the poor people in your life with your gender-fluorescent, bi-queering demi-butchery, but it's not gonna work. Does it matter to you that this poor woman you interviewed was entirely well-meaning towards you? No. All that matters is everyone's submission and conformity to your redefinition of our language. But no matter how much your ideology will wish it wasn't so, people are still going to see 2 women in a romantic relationship and think, lesbians, because that's a perfectly fine definition to use. Speaking of redefinition, let's take a look at the attempted redefining of our cultural but also biological beauty standards. Meet Dexter Mayfield, the queer plus-size male model taking the fashion industry by storm. When Dexter Mayfield stepped on the runway at his very first fashion show back in 2015, he had one mission in mind: slay. Slay what? In the current climate of social justice, fat acceptance, self-loving, and body positivity, you know that there's going to be no real challenge to this guy's appearance in a fashion show. In fact, I'm sure that all the elitist, politically correct, trendy weirdos at a show like this one will be practically jumping out of their seats cheering for something like this. But no matter how much the adherents of the religion of social justice proclaim that this is the new standard of beauty, somehow I still have doubts. Either way, I'm going to let you guys decide for yourselves. You see, we've been blessed with a video of the event, and before I click play, I just want everyone to take a moment and prepare their spines for the cringe we are about to experience.
Take nerves, cause it do take nerves. With your vicious motherfuckers, with your vicious motherfuckers, with your vicious motherfuckers, it do take nerves.
So obviously, as a straight white male, I don't know if I qualify to officially assess the attractiveness of this queer, melanated man. Perhaps we'll have to wait for the opinion of an appropriately intersectional person for that. But here is the question I want to ask to women everywhere. Is this really the type of male body that you find attractive? Because for the overwhelming majority of men, who are straight of course, being attractive to straight women is the goal. And to be honest, despite what we're hearing from the highly ideologically charged media, I have serious doubts that this is what regular women are into. Now, my point isn't that fat people should be ridiculed or harassed, of course. I don't think it's good for any person to get that for their looks, but this idea that you're going to forcibly change what people find attractive is ridiculous. And when it comes to weight, it isn't just a fashion statement. Being overweight is a serious problem, medically speaking, and we should be encouraging people to get their body under control, not glamorizing obesity. Mayfield says no matter how far he's come in the industry, he's always been told that he still needs to lose weight. By who? His doctor? The people around him who care about his health? I think they're trying to help you. He says talking about self-love and acceptance isn't enough. Mayfield wants men like him out there showing everyone that there is no one definition of male beauty. Okay, now you're just lying to men. Women absolutely do have physical preferences and beauty standards that they look for in men. Mayfield says, we need to be out there on billboards. I think that so many more young men will be confident in themselves and happy as the person they are if we can do that. Actually, what'll end up happening is young men are going to be wondering what some fat fuck is doing on a fashion billboard. You see, Mike.com, the models on fashion billboards are not put there as some sort of cultural control of beauty norms. They are not used as some kind of top-down control to define beauty. They are there because that is what sells clothing. And your attempts to alter people's biologically driven preferences are not going to change that. In other news, straight black people are the white people of black people. What the fuck? TheRoot.com is once again showing us that social justice is the ideology for racists. We've long known that if you hate whites, social justice is the thing for you, but now we're seeing that racists of all persuasions can be part of this truly progressive movement. I swear to God, when I see quotes like this, I truly wonder how the fuck our culture has gone so far down the drain. Our progressive author writes, it feels counterintuitive to suggest that straight black men as a whole possess any sort of privilege, particularly the type of privilege created and protected by whiteness, whatever that is. In America, we are near or at the bottom in every relevant metric determining quality of life. Our arrest and incarceration rates, our likelihood of dying a violent death, our rate of committing crime, oh, wait, no, that one's not there. Our likelihood of graduating high school and attending college, our employment rates, our average net worth, our likelihood of surviving past 70. I could continue, but the point is clear. Yes, I'm sure you could continue until the end of time about your perceived oppression. So the author basically uses this article as a checking of his own black male privilege in an effort to virtue signal to the other more intersectional social justice acolytes. He needs them to know that he is totally on board with the efforts to dig the hole even deeper. Because we all know that there is no end to their fanatical struggle to purge inequality, real or imagined, from our society. We are now stuck with a substantial group of people who have made this ideology part of their core identity. No matter what progress is made, or regress, depending on how you look at it, they will always find something more to harp on about. This is part of who they are now, and they must continue it at all costs. They are destined to forever struggle for an imagined utopian world that they will never get and they don't even want, because the struggle, the activism, is part of their identity. No matter what, no matter how many of their demands are met, they will always find a way to keep the struggle going. Well, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching.